Thank you for watching our Back to School orientation video for Seven Springs Middle School for the 2021-2022 school year. To our returning Jaguars, we look forward to having you back on campus with us this fall. And to our incoming 6th grade Jaguars, we look very forward to welcoming you to middle school for the next few years. This video is going to go over important information to get us kick-started for the next school year. Thank you for taking the time to watch it. These smiling faces look forward to welcoming you to campus each day. This is your Seven Springs Middle School administrative team. In the middle, in the pink dress, you'll see our principal, Mrs. Figliameni. If you keep going to the right, in the yellow and black is Mrs. Seibert, and she's the assistant principal over 8th grade. Keep going to the right, in the blue and black is Mrs. McCormick, and she's the 7th grade assistant principal. All the way back on the left is Mrs. Kina, and she's the assistant principal over 6th grade students. We look forward to working with our students and our families and having you with us for the 2021-2022 school year. Our counselor team is broken down by grade level. Mrs. Drury and Miss Hoffling both assist with 6th grade students. Mrs. Batista is over 7th grade, and Mr. Hand is over 8th grade. They are located in our student services area of campus. If you ever need anything, please feel free to reach out to your counselor. Another important person to know on campus is our school resource officer, Corporal Brantley, with the Pasco County Sheriff's Office. Every day, Corporal Brantley is with us on campus, and his main responsibilities are to ensure that we're safe. You'll often see him out and about on campus, in the hallways during transitions and passing, or doing safety drills with the administrative team when we have those going on campus. You'll see him all over the place. Feel free to wave hi and say hello. The schedule you see in front of you is also listed on our Seven Springs Middle School website, and it's our regular bell schedule for classes each day. Students report to class for first period by 8:30 a.m. They have 2 bells that ring beforehand to let them know and prompt them to start moving towards first period if they're not there already. Our day ends for students at 2:55 p.m. when we have dismissal. In between, we do have 3 lunches throughout the school day. A lunch is for 7th grade students, B lunch is for 6th grade students, and C lunch is with 8th grade students. Our students do report to a study hall, which is their homeroom listed on their class period schedule, prior to leaving to go to lunch. For example, if I look at the student schedule on the right, this is an 8th grade student schedule example. I would look at this student's day, starting with first period. Up at the top, I can see period 1 is listed with a teacher name and the course, World History with Mrs. Martinez. I can see that this student is on Team 8I, and I know that at 8:30 they should report to Classroom 1, Building 1, and Classroom 130. They would continue on with their day to second period, third period, fourth period. When they go to their homeroom, they're reporting to Mr. Drury's class. This is going to be their study hall and intervention class period that happens before they go to lunch. So this student would report to Mr. Drury's classroom, and then they would attend C lunch because they're 8th grade. After lunch, they would continue on with their day going to 6th period. This student does have 2 semester classes under their 6th period. They would find semester 1, which is the first one listed, Mr. DeBrama's class. They would continue on to their 7th period day. If you are wondering where you can access your student schedule, all schedules are listed in the My Student portal, which can be accessed by logging into My Pasco Connect. Let's start with the beginning of our day. Each day, our arrival begins at 8:10 a.m. This is to ensure that we have proper adult supervision in our student areas. If students are getting breakfast, all they need to do is visit one of the breakfast carts located where they arrive. There will be one in the car loop area or off of the bus loop. After students get breakfast, if they are choosing to receive breakfast, they are then to head directly to their first period class. Our morning bell will remind students by 8:25 they need to start moving to their first period class if they haven't already. Again, we have 2 bells to remind students we are starting promptly at 8:30 a.m. The next step when students arrive to their first period class is to wash or sanitize their hands upon entering the classroom. The next part would be to unpack any needed supplies for their first period class and find their seat quickly. Our school news is shown each day promptly at 8:30 a.m. and instruction begins right after. To ensure that you have everything that you need, please come prepared and on time. On the first day of school, when you head to your first period class, your teachers will have a freshly printed paper copy of your schedule. We know that some students accidentally lose their schedules, or sometimes they just forget to bring them, and that's totally okay. When you get to your first period class, your teacher will pass out your schedule to you. Please take a moment to look over your schedule to 1, make sure you have all 7 classes listed with a teacher name, and 2, you know when your lunch is. It'll say homeroom. A lot of times we suggest that students, if you have a device, you take a picture of your schedule on your phone. But also, please know you will be receiving an extra paper copy to keep in your backpack and on hand when you arrive to your first period class. If you notice you have any missing classes or something is not listed 1 through 7, please ask your first period teacher and they will let you know what to do. Remember, on your schedule, you will report to your homeroom first for your study hall intervention class period prior to attending your lunch. Your teacher will let you know when to go and they will dismiss you at the appropriate time. On your way to the cafeteria, please know that there is a couple of options for seating, both inside or outside. You may have the choice to sit inside of the cafeteria or at one of the many picnic tables that we have outside on the patio. You will notice we have green dots listed on the seats to help with social distancing. Please do not remove the dots on the seats and only sit in the area marked with the green dot. There is plenty of seating for everybody. We have, again, both inside and outside to allow for choice and allow for many opportunities to feel most comfortable. This is an example of our cafeteria seating with the green dots that I was just mentioning. On the left side of the screen is an example of a picnic table outside, and on the right is an example of our inside bench. Please remember to look for these green dots so that you know where to sit appropriately. Our cafeteria is a busy place, and we just remind you that we do have some procedures in place for everyone's safety. For example, when you're entering the cafeteria, we have many seating options available. There are many places to sit and many options both inside and outside. We just ask that you quickly find a seat. If you need to get out of your seat and grab, let's say, a drink of water or an extra snack, all we ask is that you just make sure that you're raising your hand. An adult nearby will let you know where to go next. We call our students up by rows to get in line. If you're getting in line for food, please wait for your row to be called, starting with row 1. If you brought your food, you are free to go ahead and start eating. As far as voice levels go, there are a lot of you in the cafeteria, so please remember you're using an arm-length voice to speak to the people on either side of you. Table etiquette is the same as it would be at home. Please clean up your area, be respectful of the space. There are other students that come in after you for their next lunch. We just want to make sure that it's a clean space for them to enjoy as well. At dismissal time from lunch, we will dismiss you the same way we called you up, row by row. You will recycle anything that you need to recycle, take your trash, and then stack your tray on your way out of the cafeteria. Once you are leaving the cafeteria, please remember you are going back to your homeroom and then directly to your next class period when dismissed. There's only a 3-minute turnaround time, so you will need to move with a purpose, but be safe. When you come to lunch, you are leaving your backpack in your homeroom classroom. If you're bringing your lunch, bring your lunchbox, find a seat, and you may begin eating. If you are purchasing lunch instead, again, you're just waiting for your row to be called to go ahead and line up for that lunch line. Remember, we're still being respectful of people's space, and you're standing an appropriate distance apart, recommending about 6 feet or so. Sometimes at school, we just don't feel well. If students are not feeling very well or they have a fever, please keep them home. If they do need to visit our clinic to take medication during the school day, please make sure this has been arranged with our school's clinic. Students may only take medication at school if it is prescribed by a doctor and a parent or legal guardian has brought it to our school's clinic. Students are not allowed to carry any sort of medication on them on their person, so everything will need to go through our clinic staff. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to call our school and ask to speak to someone in our clinic or our school nurse. Our car loop is a busy place each day for arrival and for dismissal. We just remind you that if you have a student who is also attending J.W. Mitchell High School and they have a sibling attending Seven Springs Middle School, you please drop off your Seven Springs Middle School Jaguar first, circle back around and go all the way over to the high school side, and then drop off your high school student. The same goes if the high school student is a driver and drops off their younger sibling. We would just ask that they drop off the middle school student first and then travel over. This ensures that we don't have any traffic jams and ensures that we have students safe and not crossing traffic areas for both the middle school and the high school. At the dismissal bell each day, our 6th and 7th grade students who are car riders will report to the side car loop. Our 8th grade students will report all the way to the back of the school for the back car loop. In the mornings for arrival, it doesn't matter, and we want everybody to just keep moving forward as far as they possibly can so that we can get everybody unloaded in a safe fashion. At the end of the day, we just remind students, please do not stand in groups when waiting for your car, and please come out to the sidewalk in the picture that you can see and wait for your car. We do not call names out in middle school, and students will need to watch for their car when it pulls up and get inside of it. Car loop looks for arrival and dismissal. We'd like to give you a short video. On the first day of school, we will be dismissing 6th graders to the bus loop first so that they can find their way ahead of the pack. Following them, 7th and 8th graders will be released afterwards. Students are to report to the bus loop if they are a bus rider. This is behind our football stadium off of Photonics Drive. Please, we remind students to walk at a normal pace. There is plenty of time. They will not miss their bus, but they should be reporting directly to their bus at dismissal, which is 2:55 p.m. We will have a bus map that students can see that'll display where their bus is out in the loop. We have our buses parked in rows, and students should be walking directly to that row to find their bus each day. The first few weeks of school are a little busy, and we may have buses that run late at dismissal. If your bus is running late, we ask our students to please stand on the sidewalk in front of the row where their bus should be. Their bus will arrive in the same row every day, and standing on the sidewalk if it's running late is the best place to be for the safety of everyone. This is an example of what our bus loop map will look like. In this example, there are no numbers of buses listed. We do want to draw your attention to the fact that there are numbers row 1 through 20, and there are several buses at times in each row, usually 2, sometimes 3. On the map that students are shown, they will see their bus number listed on top of the yellow rectangle, which is to represent their bus in that row. We do want to remind students to check both buses in that row. The reason for this being, sometimes one bus will pull in before the other. This map is just an example to list that students should be reporting to which row, but just know to check both buses within that row in case it changes each day which bus arrives first or next or last. Once students report out to the bus loop, they should walk along the sidewalk, walk out to their bus, get on their bus, and then wait to be dismissed. If their bus is running late, we again ask that you stand on the sidewalk along the back side of the stadium in front of the row to wait for your bus. That way you can see when it arrives. Lastly, for students and families, if you are not already following us on our social media outlets, we invite you to. Not only is our website updated frequently, we also put things out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram so that everything is in multiple areas and multiple ways to access. If you're not already following us or check these, we invite you to, and everything is listed below. Finally, we hope you have a great first day of school. We welcome all of our Jaguars onto campus, and we can't wait to see you on the first day of school, August 10th. See you soon!